and welcome to the very special Christmas edition of the Dirt Rally 2.0 Dirt Show. This is Ross, you probably recognise him by now, and we have Johnny on the wheel, so we'll be showing you some cool footage from the game. We're actually going to use 3 cars, I believe, that have not been seen before in this game.
Yep, that's right.
You know which ones?
I'm sure you've got them written down in front of you.
Correct, so we're going to show the Porsche, as we promised last time. We're also going to show the Peugeot R5 car, which is the 288 T16, and then we're also going to show the Megane RX around Silverstone. So we're going to have a really fun time, at least Johnny is. We're going to watch. That's still fun, it's fine. So as you just saw there, that was our brand new trailer. That trailer is one that we released at 2 PM today. Really, really exciting, and we thought we'd just show you again just in case you missed it. But it does show the very first glimpses of track degradation that you will have seen. So Ross, track degradation, it's cool, isn't it?
It is, it is. One thing I think that on previous live stream I didn't really explain very well was that it's not distinct steps. I think previously I'd explained it and it made it sound like it was 3 big chunks across the whole running order.
Yeah.
But it's actually kind of 150 little chunks across the running order. Depending on where you start, it changes ever so slightly each time. So yeah, it kind of blends across the starting lineup.
Excellent. So it's a lot more varied than what we might have previously described it.
Yes.
It is very varied and it is very cool. And what we haven't also mentioned is that obviously that is just for gravel, but for tarmac stages you do see the track rubber in as well, don't you? So
yeah, you do. And I think we have a little bit of kind of dipping where cars would go offline on the edges of tarmac corners, and it kind of starts to create a bit of a bump there.
Yeah.
So yeah, stay on the grey stuff.
Stay on the grey stuff. That is a safe message for everyone to abide by this Christmas. Right, so it looks like John is ready, and we're not going to waste any more of your time. John is tackling Spain, which you haven't seen before, in the Porsche, which you haven't seen before, on hard tyres, which is going to be quite challenging for John. So we're going to be quiet and let him take you for a spin. Everyone ready? Excellent, let's go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 6 right, 100, 3 left, 150, 2 left, extra long, tightens, into 3 right, don't cut, opens over crest, into 5 right long, opens 30, 2 right long, into 3 left, 30, 4 left, don't cut 1 right, opens over crest, into 2 right, don't cut 2 left long, opens and tightens, into 5 right over crest, extra long, caution, tightens 2 long, into 6 right, into 2 left long, opens over crest, 6 right, into cut 5 left, opens 150, 2 right, opens 4, extra long, 50, 4 left, tightens 3 over bridge, 30, 4 left long, opens, into 5 right, 100, narrow 4 right, into short, 6 left, 40, 4 right, open 6, and crest into 2 left, don't cut. Into 5 right long, 3 left long, tightens 2. Open 6 long over crest, into 1 right long. Opens 30, small cut, 3 left long, into 3 right long over crest, into 4 left, into 4 right, into 4 left long, into 5 right, into cut 3 left long, into 5 right over crest, into cut 5 left, into 6 right, opens 50, 3 right, cut 5 left, into 6 right of a crest, into 4 left long, small cut, 50. 3 right long, opens, into cut 4 left, 4 right, into 3 left, tighten, small cut, into keep right over 50, 4 right, 100, 5 left, cut late, extra long, 30, early, 5 right of a crest, cut 6 left, 50, 6 right long, cut 6 left, into 6 right, cut 4 left, into 6 right, cut 6 left, 5 right, into 5 left of a crest, into 6 right long, 30, 4 left, big cut, into sudden, 3 right, into 4 left, 30, 2 right, tightens, into 2 left, extra long, opens, 120, crest, into 3 right long, tightens, into cut, 5 left, into 3 right, extra
Right,
long
well,
of a
we've
crest,
given you a few
50,
seconds of pure Porsche sound, but as you can see, it's very, very
3
tricky.
left long,
We're super proud of the
into 5
of the
right,
team, and this kind of course through this one,
into 4
the
left
Georgia
long,
car, it is a
80.
massive handful. As you can see, John actually lost it a little bit earlier because it's not easy, and you can see
into
that
3
there are
right,
a couple
extra
of
long,
red sectors.
tightens.
So this one is you do have a battle on your hands with this one, I believe, Ross.
Yeah, you really do. There's so much power going through the rear wheels. I mean, you saw when he went slightly offline and kind of stayed on the power, it slipped out. You're kind of tiptoeing. Well, for mere mortals, we're tiptoeing around in this. I mean, John's able to push it harder than most people in the studio. Just doing a little showpiece set of donuts there.
Crowd pleaser.
But yeah, it's a bit of a beast, but he does a great job of taming it.
Yeah, I mean, John we know he's a crowd pleaser. For example, he's not just our resident rally driving consultant, but he's also our resident Christmas tree. As you can see, he's lit up very nicely and is flashing. John Armstrong is flashing is a sentence that people around Codemasters are used to hearing, so it's no surprise that this is slightly more festive than what we would usually expect.
When we told him to bring a bit of Christmas cheer to the studio, and he initially suggested the joke, I wasn't quite sure how I was going to go down, but now I've been dazzled by it. It's yeah, welcome addition.
It's very impressive. It's very sparkly. I'm a big fan. So you can see he's actually just got a couple of green sectors now. So he's really working so hard, and obviously you guys can see his hands on the wheel, but we can almost hear him sweating. There's pressure on him. And the tarmac streets of Spain are an amazing time as well. This one's one of the longer scenarios, and it's so varied because you obviously have your sort of technical town sections and then massive sweeping sections like this where it's so easy to just spin it off the side of the road.
Oh yeah, it's the kind of the wide open landscapes obviously creates an incredible backdrop to be driving through at high speed, but yeah, you do have to listen carefully to Phil's calls and make sure you don't drop off the edge. You'll also be able to take this car out on any of our kind of gravel stages as well. I mean, whilst you see this Rally GT class excels on gravel, and that's where we've taken. Sorry, excels on tarmac, and that was kind of the driving force of bringing them into the game. You can also take them out on gravel if you really want a handful.
How do they feel on gravel?
Well, I mean, I've been saying to people that never even consider putting the throttle down to 100%. You know, you've got to stay within your limits, and as with so many rear-wheel drive vehicles, it's kind of controlling the turn on the throttle rather than crossing your arms and planting it. You know, you're going to go the wrong way fast if you do that. Whereas if you feel the way the car moves through the pedal and work it through like that, you'll be much better off.
Cool, right, well we should be quiet once more again and let John take us to the end of the stage, and then when we come back we'll always be here, but when we come back and talk, we'll talk a little bit more about career mode, which is something that a lot of people have been asking about.
Sure thing.
Into 4 left, extra long, opens, into 5 right, extra long, opens, into 6 left, into 6 right long, into 4 left, extra long, opens, keep middle of a 30, 6 left, into 5 right, extra long, tightens, 100. 4 right, into 4 left long, tightens, into 4 right, 80. Flat right of a crest, into 5 left, 40, 3 left, tightens, into 3 right, into 5 left long, 50, 6 left, caution 30, 3 right, tightens, opens 6 long, 30, 2 left long, tightens, into 3 right, tightens over finish,
So we're bringing that stage to the end. It was actually 23 seconds faster than the fastest AI at that point, so he's not doing too bad there. After his little spin. You're right, John?
Yeah, it was pretty tricky. Just glad to get to the finish with no major incidents.
Yeah. Like, we appreciated your donuts. You had 23 seconds ahead of your nearest rival with a few donuts in there as well.
Yeah.
So we are still working on various parts of the AI balancing. We've got a couple of guys over in the studio who are just sat there in front of reams of data that we're collecting from the QA team, and making sure that there is a real challenge at every level. Don't want people to worry that top line drivers are going to go out there and be able to smash the competition every time.
Yeah.
There's going to be a balance for everyone.
Fair enough. They looked absolutely nails, to be honest, and I can't wait to take it for a spin and smash that Porsche to pieces, because I am concerned.
Costly repair bills if you
Yeah.
if you crash a Porsche.
I mean, exactly. When I'm driving in real life, I don't have to worry about my Fiat because it has about 4 brake horsepower. But that is a serious piece of machinery. So, career mode. Let's talk about that. We've had a few questions on our forum, so thanks to everyone who's been probing. We thought it'd be best to just have a nice chat about it while we're on the sofa. So, career mode. What sort of shape does that form?
So the My Team kind of portion of the game will be familiar to players from the first rally. For both rally and rallycross, there's 5 steps on a ladder for you to progress up to, all the way up to kind of masters, and then the challenge really is staying there. You'll be able to do that in any car you want to. So
Okay, cool.
if you want to take a sensible approach, you'd start out in sort of a low powered front wheel drive car, maybe something historic, maybe something from R2, or you can do the whole thing in the Porsche if you want. You'll be sort of grouped with AI competitors in a car in your class, so it's always kind of appropriate.
Okay.
And likewise with rallycross, you can start out in the first few rungs of the ladder with whatever car you want. When you get to the top of the rallycross ladder, you will need to be using a World Rallycross supercar though,
Yeah.
because we felt that was an appropriate kind of top step.
Yeah.
You can you'd be managing your team as you see fit. So if you're running the really top end cars, you will need to have hired additional engineers to keep on top of the kind of the repair times.
Sure.
You will be incurring repair costs all the way, and one thing we've got now is that you need to manage your damage between events.
Okay.
So if you in previous games you could hilariously stack it very close to the finish line, tumble over the finish line, and there was no real consequence to that.
Yeah.
Whereas the more we've thought about it, the more we wanted people to kind of take responsibility for the damage that they do to their vehicles. So I'd recommend kind of slowing down to the marshal posts.
Yeah,
and
really good advice, because I know in the first at rally all I do is floor it to the finish line and then end up hitting one of those blocks, and then you get the slow where you burst through the blocks and I'm like, that car's destroyed.
Yeah, no more of that. So before each event you'll have to kind of make a choice as to how much you invest in repairing your damage before an event. Is there can I quick fix this part and just eke it out? Or...
I mean, mechanical wear and tear, that's a thing as well, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so we're super proud of all the work we do with our kind of our damage models and mechanical damage, and really feel that's something that we are the best at. And there is, I mean, so for example, if you smash up your radiator, then your engine is going to suffer as a result, because it's not being cooled properly anymore, and there's various knock-on effects for all of our mechanical components.
Yep.
So
yeah, I mean, for this game, it just really feel that there's an extra layer of strategy that you have to apply to everything, whether it be parts, whether it be how you set up your car to deal with the degradation, for example, or just tyre choice, which is something that's kind of brand new to Dirt Rally. So there's lots of different things going on that you really have to consider for each event and then beyond as well. It's just a whole layer of new strategy. Yeah,
there is, and so vehicle setups is something that we want to be able to talk about a bit closer to launch as well. We've been working with a couple of guys who are professional mechanics for teams, and we're seeing what we can do with them to help teach players what the changes in setups can do. We have a wealth of adjustments that players can make, and I think our kind of our super core audience and the fastest guys know exactly what they're doing with that. But then for other players, I think there's sometimes a little bit of confusion as to what they can adjust and what effect that has. So whether that's something as simple as raising the ride height slightly when you've got a heavily degraded surface, or the wealth of other things you can tweak. We're hoping to do a little series to explain that to everyone.
All right, nice. So it looks like we might be ready for the next race.
Yeah,
or are
we've got the Peugeot 208R5 ready to go in Poland.
Excellent. So this is again first glimpse of Poland, which you guys won't have seen before. This is the Peugeot R5 car, the 208 T16, and John's going to be driving it, I believe, again on hard tyres.
Hard tyres again.
Yeah, another challenge. So it's going to look a little lively. Again, we're going to be quiet for the first few sectors so you can just enjoy it. I will also add that Ross is a very busy man here, so he may have to dart off, so you may return and it'll just be me on my own. But don't worry, we'll get him back on the sofa at some point. Right, are you ready, John?
Yep.
Let's go.
Flat left, 50, turn 6 right of a crest, 6 left, 50, flat middle of a crest, 80, deep middle of a jump, 50, 4 right narrow, 80. Keep middle of a jump, 50, 6 left of a jump long, tightens of a crest jump, 120, keep right into 5 left long, narrow over bump, into 6 right, 80, over long crest into 6 left, tightens past junction, 30, 4 right narrow over crest, don't cut 5 left, opens long into 6 left, 30, 4 right long, tightens of a crest, 50, don't cut 4 left, into 6 right, into 6 left long, 30, 6 right of a crest, opens extra long, into slow, 6 left long of a bump, into 3 right of a crest bump, into 4 left long, into turn 1 right, opens long, tarmac, don't cut through bales, keep right of a 30, turn 1 right, opens of a crest, gravel, 50, 5 left, into flat right of a crest, opens long, tightens of a jump, into 5 left of a crest, tightens very long, into 6 right, 50, 4 right, extra long, opens flat of a crest, into 6 left, into 6 right, into caution, 5 left of a jump, 50, 6 left, very long, tightens of a bump, 50, 4 right long, into slow, 6 left of a crest, 30, turn, 1 left, don't cut, 30, 6 left, 100, 3 right long, tightens logs outside, opens of a crest, 50, tight, 6 left of a crest, extra long of a junction, 30, keep middle of a jump, into 3 left long, tightens, 80, flat right of a crest, extra, extra long, 30, 3 right long, opens 80. 5 left of a crest, extra long, caution tightens 3, into 4 right long, into 4 left, into 4 right, don't cut, 120, crest, into 5 left tightens, into 4 right long, over junction, middle, 6 left, extra, extra long, 170, caution, 5 right long, tightens 4, slow 50, turn unseen, 1 right, opens, extra long of a crest, 160 over bumps, 4 left, extra, extra long, tightens turn, 5 left, opens 80, 4 left at bail, don't cut, 30, turn unseen, 2 left around bail, cobbles, don't cut, 3 right, 3 left and 1 right, tightens road bail, cobbles, 30, 1 right, don't cut, 2 left, 40, turn 2 left around bail tarmac, keep left over 160, turn unseen, don't cut, 3 right long, tightens 2, 30, flat left long, 30, 6 left long, 50, over jump, 50, 6 left long, 50, 6 right long, opens of a jump, the long crest and flat, 6 right, opens of a jump, into 6 left, tightens of a crest, into 6 right of a crest, to keep middle of a crest, and flat right, 100, keep left of a jump, 50, 6 right, opens of a crest, 50, 5 right, 60, keep left of a crest, 30, 5 right long, opens of a crest, into 6 left long, caution, tightens 3 of a crest, tightens into bump jump, into 4 right, 50, keep middle of a crest, jump, 80, 6 right of a crest, bumps, 6 left of a crest, slow 30, 4 right long, 120, flat left of a crest, into flat right of a crest, into 4 left, opens of a crest, into 6 left long, tightens of a crest, into 4 right long, into 6 left of a crest, jump, 100, flat left of a jump, extra, extra long, to keep middle of a 170, 6 right, 50, flat crest and 6 left long of a crest, into 6 right, opens of a crest, into 6 left long of a crest, 100, turn, 4 right, into 5 left, into 2 right, tightens tarmac, into 5 left, caution 100, chicane, 1 right entry, 1 left, 30, turn, don't cut, 3 left long, opens 6, extra long, bump, into 6 right, tightens 5, gravel, 60, 4 left, tightens of a crest, past junction, 30, crest, and 5 right long, of a crest, and 6 right, 6 left long, caution, 30, 6 right, tightens of a jump, 30, flat right of a long crest, into 6 left long of a crest, into 6 right long of a crest, tightens 5, to crest, and 4 left, opens, slow 80, turn, 3 right of a crest, 80, 6 left,
Poland is one of the favourites here at Christmassy when we're all having to go internally. And recently you've got really kind of fast flowing stages, you've got really fine gravel, and you've also got your tarmac sections as well, so it's got a really lovely combination of very twists and turns characteristics. Speaking to our environment art team as well, we've been working really hard on how we approach doing our foliage, and really you can see this come to life when you look at Poland. If you look at the trees and the roadside foliage, it looks such a step up from the original Dirt Rally. Not that you can see it very much when you're absolutely flying through Poland here, but John has done very similar stages in real life and has said that it feels like a very familiar experience to the real thing. Hopefully he didn't, when he was actually in Poland or neighbouring parts, he didn't have a little accident there in the middle, but bringing it to a close 17 seconds ahead of the rest. So pretty decent run, John. You should be pleased with that. How do you think that went?
Yeah, not too bad. I just had the one mistake, so...
Yeah, not too bad. Still very quick.
Yeah.
And the Peugeot is one of your favourites to drive, I remember you saying.
Yeah, I like the Peugeot, I like the Ford Fiesta R5 as well. It's really, because I've driven it in real life, it's one of my favourites. So, yeah, they're really fun to drive.
Yeah, the Fiesta R5 is a very, very nice car.
Yeah.
You drive it well, virtually, and in real life as well. And looking forward to seeing you get into perhaps the R5 in the next live stream, the Fiesta R5.
Yeah, it'd be really nice to show it off. And,
yeah, it will be.
All being well, that'd be nice.
Yeah, we might have a couple of surprises on that front as well, might we?
Yeah.
So we're just going to set up for the next one. So we're going to show you the McGann around Silverstone. But while those guys are setting up, while they're doing that, big thanks to Isha, Kristen, Ross, and everyone involved in this live stream, because we're working really hard towards submissions at the minute. So for everyone to take some time out of their busy schedules is awesome. I'm really grateful, and I hope you guys really love and appreciate it. So while that's happening, John, what are you doing for Christmas?
Oh, I'm going home for 2 weeks to chill out. I'll probably be playing lots of sim racing to keep myself occupied, but yeah, I'm just going home to spend time with family and have a nice Christmas. Will you be wearing the flashing jumper?
I think
so, yeah.
Just solidly for the next 2 weeks now.
It's my favourite one now.
Yeah, no, it's lovely. And just saying, while you were driving, Poland, you've said, is one of your favourite stages, just the pure technicality of it.
Yeah, well, it's got a bit of everything. It's got nice flowing sections, it's got technical sections, it's got jumps, and yeah, it's really fun to drive. Whenever you want a good variation in road character, it's the one to go for. Yeah, and you were saying as well, so choosing hard tyres, what would your experience have been like if you'd gone for the softer tyres? The softer tyre would have given me more grip to begin with, and obviously it would have declined the quickest as well with wear, so yeah. Over a long stage, you better to go for maybe a medium or a hard compound, because that'll give you better longevity throughout the whole stage. Sure, and then that's just sort of layering up the strategy again. Yeah, it's all about strategy and planning ahead, yeah. Cool, right. So it looks like you're going to be setting up. Yeah, while you're doing that, should we run the trailer again? Because I think you should see it again, and it's awesome. And I want to show it off as much as possible. We've got some really, really cool historic rally cars, obviously, in Dirt Rally. We've always had it in the Dirt Rally series. But we've got a pretty fine selection. So, want to go again? Right, and there we go, you've got it again. It is still as beautiful as the first time I watched it, which was a little while ago. Obviously you have to get these things ready in advance.
before we can share them with the world. But it's absolutely brilliant, and you know, watching it, hopefully you can get just an idea of what the experience is like. So unfortunately Ross isn't here to get excited with me again because he's gone to important meetings, but I'm not important and I don't have any important meetings, so I'm just going to stay here. Just while we get stuck into the next race, a little word on the Steelbook. So obviously we announced that last week. The Steelbook, we're still waiting to confirm the retailers for, you know, the vast majority of the different locations around the world. Hopefully we'll have some more news imminently. And obviously we're stocking with Amazon in the UK, but I know there's been a few queries about how that's going to be packaged. So we're working on finding some answers out for you, like as soon as possible. And once we've got those answers, we will give them to you in a handy little road book. That's the plan. So I can see just out of the corner of my eye, Jan is getting very ready to start this race. We're going to come to it in a few seconds, but I hope you've really enjoyed watching this live stream. John will join me on the sofa shortly afterwards, so we can just have a little chat about how he's done, because he's been under pressure. It might be nice for him to have a nice little sit down, nap next to me, a little chat, talk about, you know, what he's got planned for everything else. But yeah, I think we can go to the game. Let's go. Chasing the pack, so we missed the start, but he's had an interesting start, it's safe to say, and now he's chasing the rest of the pack. So going over the jump here, and Silverstone, obviously first Silverstone race for World Rallycross was it earlier this year or last year? I think it was this year. I'm losing. I think it's 2019 already. So someone's had a little spin. I'm not a talented commentator. Yeah. He's just mentioned clipping them, and obviously you can see here it's just a really fast and flowing section. You've got all the hallmark characteristics of the Silverstone here as well. It was a brilliant event last year at Speed Machine, and the racing here is really good. So we've got an Audi up ahead, obviously new to the game this year, and we're obviously in the Megane as well, which is a very tasty car. Absolutely rapid. Thrown out the inside there, no problems whatsoever. It's worth mentioning that John has never actually driven a full rallycross event himself, but I think if you're impressed by his skills and have lots of money, he'd love to take that money off your hands and do it. But it's as you can see, he's had a lot of practice, and it's really impressive. And boom, second.
Finished.
How was that?
I got beat by Peter Solberg.
Well, being beaten by Peter Solberg, I mean, a lot of people in rallycross have been beaten by Peter Solberg, so we'll let you off. But come over here, John, and let's catch up. So, how are things in the studio at the minute? You all really busy and getting ready for?
Yeah, we're really busy. Just putting final polish on everything now. It's a really busy time of the project, so it's all hands on deck, and you know, we're all putting in extra effort to get the game where it needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, what would you be doing today if you weren't streaming, for example?
At the moment, I'm doing pace note tuning, so making sure it's being triggered in the right places. Everything seems hunky-dory with that, and I'm doing some other bits and pieces with validation of AI times and certain things like that. So
I mean, we won't go into too much detail, but I believe that you've started touching on the DLC stuff as well, haven't you? So you're starting to get an insight into what that's going to feel like. So we won't talk about that too much just in case we slip up, but I know that that's on the horizon for you as well.
Yeah, obviously it's something that's coming very quickly after release, DLC, so it's something that we're going to be working on now to get it ready in time. So it's all very exciting, and it's I wouldn't be anywhere else. It's really fun to work on.
Yeah, and what's also really handy as well is you get loads more practice. So when people get the game for the first time, they're like, oh, John's at the top of the leaderboard. So I'm going to hunt you down on time trial. I'm not going to do it on every stage, but I think I'm going to pick one and just work at it, and then come into work one day and be like, look what I did. Yeah. And then probably in 5 minutes time you'll be like, I beat it again.
Well, I'm very competitive, so that does sound like me.
Bring it. Right, well, we hope you guys enjoyed that stream. Obviously, there's been lots to show, lots to get stuck into, so this will be everywhere available for rewatching in all the usual places. But thanks for joining us, and we'll see you after Christmas. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. See ya.
See ya.